I don't think there's an awareness at all of what is coming here and the magnitude of it. There are whole jobs, whole careers that we built for decades that may not be present. And I would almost say that was a dystopian world.
Dario Amodei builds the technology he's warning about. The man building the most powerful AI system in the world used the word dystopia to describe what he sees in his own data. In a 2025 Axios interview, he got more specific. AI could eliminate 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs within 5 years. Unemployment could hit 10 to 20%. The peak during the 2008 financial crisis was 10%. That generation still calls itself lost. Amodei described that as the floor. Most people hear that and think of the same thing: the Industrial Revolution. The mechanical loom destroyed the handweaver's livelihood. The Luddites smashed machines across England from 1811 to 1816. The factories came anyway. Then came railway engineers, telephone operators, airplane pilots. The grandchildren of weavers learned to fly. Keynes called it a temporary phase of maladjustment in 1930. Technological unemployment like a scar from surgery. It heals. New industries absorb the displaced. Employment recovers. 200 years of industrial history confirmed the logic. The reason it worked? Every previous wave of automation took physical or routine mechanical work. The assembly line replaced the assembler. The excavator replaced the digger. The new jobs required a brain, analysis, judgment, communication. Humans won because cognitive work stayed outside the automation zone. Generative AI went straight there. Researchers at Archive called it a general-purpose cognitive technology in 2025. The steam engine was a tool for muscles. AI is a tool for thinking. And just as a steam engine could power a loom, a pump, or a locomotive, AI writes legal documents, analyzes financial reports, and generates code with equal ease. The Industrial Revolution spread over decades. From the steam engine to the first factory took 67 years. ChatGPT reached 100 million active users in 2 months. Societies adapt over generations. AI doesn't give you a generation. There's an obvious objection here. Excel did accounting for accountants. Photoshop replaced part of a designer's routine. Google changed research. People adapted and worked faster. Why is this different? Because every previous tool made one worker more productive, but the need for mass hiring remained. The excavator still needed an operator. The factory still needed hundreds of workers. The computer still needed an office worker who knew what to do with it. AI changes the ratio itself. If one analyst with AI does the work of 5, the company keeps 1. If one senior development with agents closes the workload of an entire junior team, the junior team stops being the first floor of a career. It becomes an unnecessary expense. The threat isn't that AI eliminates every profession entirely. The threat is that it sharply reduces the number of people needed to do the same work. A career might not disappear as a job title, it disappears as a mass path for millions of people. MIT economists Daron Acemoglu and Pascual Restrepo documented what happens to labor markets during this kind of automation. They called it polarization. Automation always destroys the middle. Routine tasks of medium complexity go first. They're the easiest to reduce to an algorithm. 2 poles remain: high-paying roles requiring complex judgment, and low-paying roles requiring physical presence. Between them, a gap. In the 1980s, that polarization hit blue-collar workers. Factories in small towns, monotonous physical labor. entire regions of the US still haven't recovered. The Rust Belt still carries the name. The same wave is now moving through offices in major cities, through law firms, through analyst teams, through engineering departments. Goldman Sachs calculated the scale. Generative AI could expose the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs to automation, the combined workforce of the United States and Europe. The IMF confirmed 60% of jobs in advanced economies fall within AI's exposure zone. Klarna in 2022, 7,000 employees. In 2024, the company deploys an AI assistant that covers the workload of 700 full-time customer service staff. Today, 3,000 people. The CEO says publicly, below 2,000 by 2030. IBM eliminated 8,000 HR positions by replacing them with a system called Ask HR. Duolingo cut contractors after AI took over translation and content writing across 100 languages. In the first half of 2025, the tech sector recorded over 89,000 layoffs, citing AI directly. A career in law, analysis, or software development might not disappear as a title on LinkedIn. It disappears as a mass path for millions of people. That's the difference between a profession that exists and a profession you can actually enter. During the Industrial Revolution, the transition happened across generations. The father lost his weaving job. The son was born in a city and walked into a factory. 30 to 40 years as a buffer between the old world and the new. AI eliminates that buffer through a mechanism economists call the occupational ladder. It works like this. Someone with a degree enters an entry-level position, does cognitive grunt work that requires education but follows a defined process, and after a few years moves up to something more complex. That ladder is how every previous generation climbed from diploma to mid-career. Cognitive grunt work is the first rung. AI executes it faster and cheaper than any human. When the first rung disappears, there's no climb. Harvard Business School confirmed the mechanism through job posting data. In roles with high automation exposure, the number of required skills listed in job postings fell by 7%. Employers are asking for less because AI already handles part of the job. The Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco recorded, real wage growth for entry-level professional positions fell 1.8% in 2024, while the broader economy grew 2.4%. Amodei named this combination at Davos. High GDP growth coupled with potentially high unemployment and inequality. This is a novel economic combination. The Industrial Revolution eventually lifted everyone. Keen's scar healed because new jobs appeared where automation hadn't reached yet. This time, automation arrived there first. The Chicago Fed published research on the Second Industrial Revolution. Younger workers were the first to move into new sectors. They hadn't yet built roots in the old roles. Older workers got stuck or dropped into unskilled labor. The same pattern is forming now, with one structural difference. Then, young people moved into physically new places. Cities, factories, new industries. Now the generation entering the labor market is more flexible. It has less to lose. But the new roles meant to replace the old ones, AI trainers, human-machine interaction specialists, AI system architects, require skills that don't exist in any current university curriculum. Flexibility without direction is just uncertainty moving faster. The WEF projects that by 2030, 85 million jobs will disappear and 170 million new ones will emerge. The Bipartisan Policy Center summarized forecasts for white-collar employment between 2025 and 2030, 2% growth. The pre-pandemic trend was 6.8%. The gap between those two numbers is the size of the hole polarization leaves in the middle. Anthropic's own labor market impacts research confirmed. For every 10 percentage point increase in AI coverage within an occupation, the employment growth forecast drops by 0.6 points. MIT published in November 2025 that AI can already perform work generating $1.2 trillion in annual wages. I think we can deal with it, but I don't think there's an awareness at all of what's coming here and the magnitude of it. Amodei builds this technology every day. The only question is whether the generation flexible enough to survive it gets there before the gap in the middle becomes permanent.